and welcome to another episode of Laying Down the Lore of the Old World, a lore podcast in which we aim to separate our dragons from our dryads, our griffins from our goblins, and our witch elves from our wood elves, and generally ask, what's up with this Warhammer stuff? My name is Ben Barber, and while I used to know pretty much fuck all about Warhammer, I now know very little. With me is my co-host, Christopher Crowlin Allen.
Ben, you're doing the wrong intro for the show. Joking. Hi, guys. Hi. Chris is in the house.
Oh,
Ben
you got me there.
shot himself. Ben shot himself.
Who, despite years of valiant effort, still knows next to nothing.
Sorry, just channeling my inner Dar there.
And my dear brother Darren. I'm so proud. Who knows so much about Warhammer, it's frankly disturbing. After an abysmal attempt at playing Vermintide many moons ago, this dichotomy between our levels of understanding became clear, and this series is an attempt to address that ignorance.
Ignorance.
Hey, we finally made it.
I remembered halfway through that in the absence, so in the noise of the absence of Dar's interruptions, that he was chastised by Vic while recording one of his recent, or while editing one of our recent episodes, and told him that he was interrupting too much. And it totally threw me off guard, because then Crowell did it.
That's how we get you.
I didn't realise it was an alley-oop.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to really stop myself from interrupting to go, no, take 4. We have to do it again. Because I knew that would have stopped you, and then I knew you would have been genuinely pissed off.
I love how it was one word from his wife. Solved.
Yeah.
Intro interruptions, no problem whatsoever now.
Yep. And did I have a conversation with Vic before, or did I not have a conversation with Vic before? We'll never know.
Hey,
All right.
Talk to your own other half.
I do. She doesn't listen.
So Ben, we've got the proverbial back door into Darren, right? You've got Vic on
Gross.
that, right?
I will not use that kind of terminology. Not
Is that a
publicly.
pegging reference? Because I thought we put that to bed.
Well, where you decide to do it is entirely up to you.
We do not do it in the bed. What a mess. Never doing that again.
We're not animals.
There was a whole bunch of new sheets.
It ruined my furry costume. What?
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. All right.
My furry costume is one of those hairless cats.
Abrasive.
Smooth.
There's just a pile of fur on the floor.
Yes.
Next to you.
They're not smooth though. They're not smooth. They're wrinkly like a scrotum, and they're kind of abrasive like Velcro.
Yeah. And it's kind of,
A little insight there, ladies and gentlemen, to Kral's Velcro scrotum.
Velcro Skral. Yeah.
It's not a nice place.
Velcro scrotum is the name of the club where I used to dance.
Scrotum. I don't think anyone's scrotum is a nice place to be, Kral. Don't worry. You're in good company.
Speak for yourself, mate. Smooth as eggs.
Right, enough of this shit. Kral, you know what time it is.
Hello, Reichland. It's time for Sarah's Every Recap.
Hooray.
Chaos Dwarfs. Chaos
Ignorance.
Dwarfs. Ignorance.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Ignorant dwarves. Okay, last
I shouldn't
episode.
have cut my hair until the end of the dwarf episodes.
Me neither. I miss having hair. I'm mainly forehead now.
I mean, you should get that on business cards. Kral Allen, mainly forehead.
Here lies Kralin, mainly forehead.
Yeah. His scrotum was a great place to be.
Here lies Kralin, mainly scrotum.
Scrotum is a state of mind.
Chaos Dwarfs, Hashut, Origins.
Words.
Nailed it. What a great recap.
Is
They're becoming more succinct, aren't they?
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't got very much of a productive cough, so I'm just gonna Hashut, Origins. He's a minor Chaos God, rebelled against the 4 major Chaos Gods, delaying the initial Chaos incursion. He's a bit of a bully, and known for his domineering and stubbornness. Imprisoned by Hashut, drew some power from mountains and lava while I was in prison because there wasn't much else around, I guess. That's all he could. You need to get your power from somewhere. He was inadvertently freed by were inadvertently freed by the Eastern Dwarves by the originally named Grimdalf the Grey. No copyright
that still
issues
makes
there.
me laugh.
He was smashed by the door.
Yeah.
Isn't it the door exploded off and it just squished him against the wall?
Yeah.
It was
Splish.
like, yeah. You're too close to other characters. I'm going to kill you off. Yeah.
There was so much air pressure when the gates blew open, it gave him a center parting right up his body. Yeah.
Yeah. He parted like the Red Sea. Oh yeah, funky feature of being a sorcerer priest of Hashuts. They can channel manic magic.
Yeah, they can channel manic depression.
Manic depression, but they gradually petrify.
They do, yeah.
Which is fun.
They do, yeah.
Which is nice.
Curse of Stone.
And then they have to perambulate.
Yeah.
Oh god, the funnest part of being a Chaos Dwarf. Why don't you perambulate over here? Then we started seeing the mutation and the transformation of what were the Eastern Dwarves that would become the Chaos Dwarves. They started getting tusks and horns and even cloven hooves. But the hats, that was by choice, wasn't it? The big hats, which were a conscious choice.
It's a style, choice. Yeah.
It was like, wow, your head's mutated. No, we choose to wear these hats.
Just to interject here, we had an amazing comment from someone whose name I've completely forgotten, who's saying that when the Chaos Dwarfs were being designed, when the kind of new look was being designed, the creator of them kept going back to the miniature designer and say, make the hats bigger. The hats need to be bigger. And it went back like 2 or 3 times. So they made the most ridiculous fucking hats they could imagine, which were as tall as the dwarves that were wearing them. And the designer went, yeah, that's good. So
amazing.
They sent back basically a fuck you.
How many revisions of the hat? Why didn't he just say, look, I want it this fucking big?
Yeah.
After the 5th, no, bigger. It's like, don't be shy. I want the mega.
The mega hats.
Bit of civil war between the dwarves, which decided to follow Hashut, versus the ones like, woo, this is fucking freaky. We don't want to. We'd rather worship our ancestors rather than some big fiery lava dude. So pew 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 pew. Bit of civil war there. That's when we started seeing the Eastern Lands transformed into the Dark Lands, the lava-filled but resource-rich lava lands. Not a lot going on there.
Lava lamps.
Bleak.
Yeah. Lava lamps.
We looked at the Chaos Dwarf Society, which is mostly slaves, right? About a 5th dwarves, and the rest are just slaves. Slave positive they are.
Yeah,
mainly Greenskin slaves, smattering of humans. That's when they started getting into their ziggurats and their religious strictures, and which is basically, I don't know how religious this is, but enslave other races, exterminate threats, fuck Khorn, big time. He's a bastard.
Wow.
And expand the Chaos Dwarf influence. Yep. What else we got? Quite a lot here. Yeah.
Are there, ironically, any dark elf slaves?
Maybe a handful.
Dwarf slaves in Nagrand.
Yeah.
But only if they're captured. Only when dark elf raiders get captured. And so it's not a reliable source of slaves.
Like the Skaven.
Which is a sentence I never, ever thought I would say.
But I'm glad that you did. So that we all know.
Glad you did.
So that we don't make that mistake ourselves. Like a Chaos Dwarf as a slave for the Dark Elves, is that a good choice of slave? How effective as a slave are they in terms of workforce?
What, Chaos Dwarves?
Yeah.
As slaves, probably unheard of, because the Chaos Dwarfs never really leave the Darklands. The fleets do. So there might, again, it would be the same proportion. There might be a handful every century.
A smattering. Right. Okay.
Also, I think it would be a funny concept because Hashut, by definition, is a bully. He enslaves people, for lack of a better term. So maybe they'd like it in a kind of sick, way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Actually,
ooh,
do you know what? This isn't bad.
yeah, tell me what to
This
do.
tiny cage that I'm in, it's kind of room to breathe here.
It's been a while since we've done a record, and I've actually forgotten how victim-blamey Kral is.
Very.
You love it. You love it, you slag.
Yeah. Then there was a creation of the Black Orcs, the Uber Orcs. They rebelled against the Chaos Dwarfs. Everyone saw that coming. Then the Hobgoblins, probably the closest thing you'd call an ally to the Chaos Dwarfs. You might see the Hobgoblins as like slave masters. They also bolstered the ranks of the Dwarven armies. And Chaos Dwarfs.
Chaos Dwarfs.
Ta-da! Nice one, Kral.
Ring a ding 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 ding.
It was a good recap. I think it's been so long since we did that recording. I don't really remember.
Like I said, everything was like, yeah.
Space Marines.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
And then
shut
the
up,
Empire
Ben.
invaded.
So now we find ourselves after the slave revolt. It's been put down. It was a near total disaster for the Chaos Dwarfs. And in the aftermath of that, so we're talking about 50 years BS. So it's we're in that window of
full Sigmar.
We're about to, within a generation or two, the Empire will be founded. They began to rebuild with their Hobgoblin allies. I mean, I think it's meant as like building partners. They weren't rebuilding buildings with hobgoblins instead of bricks. Although I'd love to see that building.
Yeah, man.
Expansion began to resume again, really more towards the south of the Darklands, and I have a helpful couple of maps, so we can reimagine the Dorito-shaped Darklands and the various places within it. 2 seconds
Pictures,
here.
you say?
Are we going to be using the now copyrighted, patented hand?
We can use
map?
a hand map. Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't get the hand reference. Looks kind of like a hand. No. A hand looks like a hand.
Show me your hand, Kral.
Now hit yourself in the face with it.
Yeah, exactly. Now slap yourself and shut the fuck up. The hand map works, all right?
Yeah, you're right. It's me, not you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Maps, fucking love them.
Oh, I've seen this one.
You've seen both of them. So if we look at the kind of the taupish one, the sepia and red map, you'll see that the Darklands there roughly shaped like a Dorito.
Or your hand.
So
okay, I can relate to that. Dorito, it's kind of triangular. Fine. Yeah.
It is, yeah. So
unlike a hand, you twat.
Up like a hand, which is
Oh, dear.
I'll also accept dorsal fin.
Well, I've heard you'd accept far more than that, Chris. So
it's true.
The Chaos Dwarves began to expand their kind of influence and empire southwards, where they founded the Tower of Gorgoth.
Gorgoth.
So that's really kind of slap dab in the middle of the Badlands, and began exploiting the incredibly rich minerals and materials and ores around the kind of plains of Gorgoth. While all this was happening, the sorcerer priests realized that their race was sort of too few or too sparse to be able to protect the kind of expanding borderlands that the Dwarven Empire or the Chaos Dwarven Empire found itself with. To secure their position, they formed a formal alliance with the Hobgoblin tribes of the Eastern Steppes. So within a kind of the broader context of the Warhammer world, the Hobgoblins take the role of the Mongol hordes. And so when we cover the Hobgoblins in a bit more detail in a few episodes' time, they were for many, many years the kind of main harassing enemy of the lands of Cathay. So the Cathay not only had to deal with the Chaos tribes that would come down every now and then, but the constant raiding of the Hobgoblin hordes.
Sorry, just to go on. Was that the Hobgoblin hordes on behalf of the Chaos Dwarfs, or just Hobgoblin hordes, Hobgoblin?
Hobgoblins by themselves, by their own thing.
Okay.
Ben?
Define official. I think you said that the pact between them was kind of official. How would it be official? Was there a contract? Did they?
Well,
did
yeah,
they
we're going to cover that again. Always asking questions. I'm about to answer. You just like
Darren.
It's
Darren.
Yeah, it's just like that thing where Vic asked me to do something as I'm doing it, and I can't say I'm fucking doing it because it means then that she wins. What? No. But the Great Bastion, which is in Cathay, which is their Great Wall of China, was built to keep out the Hobgoblin hordes. What are you laughing at, Chris?
You silly goose.
The Chaos Dwarfs formed an official contracted alliance, thank you, Ben, with the Hobgoblin tribes, creating the Hobgoblin hegemony. And for Kral, the Hobgoblin Hogmanay, which was the Hobmanay, which was the celebratory empire of the Hobgoblins, the constant renewal, old lang Hobgoblin, I don't know, whatever's funny.
Crossing your hands in weird ways.
So effectively what they did was they created a Hobgoblin empire that was able to effectively rule over huge swathes of the eastern steppes and the borders with the Mountains of Mourne to stop other goblinoid races from taking any kind of advantage of the Chaos Dwarfs.
Nice.
So that's really all the hegemony thing means. It's you're putting a single kind of culture in. Hegemony, yeah. Hegemony.
Hegemony. Okay.
They were playing Kingmaker then. Is that the idea?
Yeah, effectively. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, having created their huge Hogmanay buffer state, they also struck a deal with the Ogre Kingdoms who dwell within the Mountains of Mourne. And for an annual tribute of dead or spent slaves, and together with weapons and bits of armor, the Ogre Kingdoms entered into a non-aggression pact with the Chaos Dwarves and would also, in return for their dead or exhausted slaves, would swap them for live and vital slaves to be able to work within the mines and the furnaces and forges of Tsar Nagrand. Mr. Chris.
What was the faction, like the ogres love to use human and live things as currency? What were they? Who were they being paid by a human a day?
That was when they were signed up to the Chaos Army.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, if you remember the human a day, we made some joke about them being used as a human a day, but the humans were used as dildos.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like dick socks. Yeah.
Yes, that was the Slaneshi contract. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's fucking gross.
So with these two kind of great arrangements, contracts, we have the whole of the eastern side of the Chaos Dwarfs Empire was now secure, in quotes, against the raiders from the east, but also against the populations that they entered into the agreements with. So they have secured alliances with the ogres and the Mountains of Mourne. So that's effectively a huge wall of mountains filled with incredibly ravenous and hungry ogres who won't kind of fight you, they will eat you. And then they've secured the kind of primacy of the hobgoblins over other goblin races across the kind of broader eastern steppes of the Warhammer world, but also within their own borders. So the Hobgoblins became the ultimate collaborators, I suppose, out of the goblinoid races in the Darklands. Mr. Chris.
They come across as quite shrewd tacticians and strategists in that sense. They've picked their allies pretty well.
Oh yeah,
you're
in
4
the form
foot
of the
high.
ogres. Yeah, exactly. But I suppose the Chaos Forces, the human Chaos Forces and otherwise, were going to be pretty good as well. It just feels like the Chaos Dwarfs have got it sewn up pretty well with the ogres and the hobgoblins.
Yeah, I think this is the thing to keep in mind is that, yes, they're Chaos Dwarves, but they're still dwarves. So they are...
Yeah, they're still fucking rad.
Yeah, rational, in quotes, in terms of pragmatic, I suppose, is the phrase
logical.
we'd use.
Yeah,
there we go. This started a huge period of instability, of stability. So, despite all their efforts, everything collapsed. No, they managed to go a full millennia without any kind of major threats at all to their slave empire. Got a bit dull, if I'm being honest, Chris. Really, yeah.
Well, even so, from that point, sorry, were we picking up in terms of chronological order? Were we picking up this bit of lore like just before the birth of Sigmar, and so 1,000 years past that?
Within a few centuries, the kind of ink was finally dry on the various agreements that they made.
So there was shit going on. Sigmar had been born. Sigmar became fucking Sigmar the Great, Super Saiyan and all that shit. In the meantime, nothing much was happening with the Chaos Dwarfs.
Yeah, they had managed to secure their borders because you had all of
they were just observing the Ever-Chosen and Sigmar go at it. The Black Orcs, who they sired, essentially, go off and become the greatest and all that. And they just sat in the Darklands whilst all the shit was kicking off. Yeah,
because we've just described there how they secured their eastern borders, their western borders, the World's Edge Mountains, then into, the Empire and stuff. That was already completely destabilized by all of the orc and goblin tribes that had gone in and kind of waged huge wars against the dwarven holds there. And of course, then you've got the Skaven as well added into the mix. So both sides of their borders were real, physical walls with mountains, but populated by allies, in quotes, or allies on the east, but on the west, if you'll recall, they've got trade alliances with the various different tribes for weapons and armor in return for slaves and for not invading them. So yeah, they've sewn it up. They really have sewn it up.
So it sounds very dwarfy, doesn't it? It's like, let's bunker down.
Surprisingly.
And just put most of our efforts, like 99% of our efforts, into fortification. Like, let's just defend ourselves. They're not very, they don't do a lot of raiding. They don't really do a lot of going out into the world.
Slave raids is really what they're doing.
Slades. Right.
That's their vibe. That's their jam. Yeah. So sorry to just go into this, but I'm just I'm painting a picture here. So again, just in terms of chronological order, like Chaos is on a proactive drive to take over the world. Sigmar is fighting back. There is a unification of all the, should we call them the good faction? There's a lot going off. This is a key moment in Warhammer history, But Chaos has been well established, and the dwarves are just representing Chaos quite happily. The Chaos Dwarves down in the Darklands. They are
they're representing
the benchmark for Chaos. Be more Darklands, everybody.
Be more Darklands.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. I saw a map earlier, which shows the spread of Chaos as kind of black tumor-like growths. And they're all over the world, except in the Darklands. The Darklands is completely clear.
That's cool.
And it's the influence of, I think it's from the Beasts of Chaos book, so it's from one of the Beastmen books. So there's next to no Beastmen in the Darklands because the Chaos Dwarfs have got the place, to use your phrase, sewn up. It's arguably the most stable empire, outside of Ulthuan for,
Yeah. The 4 Chaos Gods must be kind of like grumbling under their thing. They're like, we're trying to take over the fucking world, and fucking Hashut, the shitty upstart, has fucking got it all sewn up. Cunt.
Well, it's not all overcast clouds and the screaming of slaves within the Darklands. Sometimes bad things happen. So there's 2 real events that kind of serve as kind of a wake-up call for the Chaos Dwarfs and their secure/stagnant empire. The first is over 1,000 years after Sigmar, so we're in the year 1111 of the Imperial calendar. Can anyone remember, this is from the Skaven episodes, what was the significant event? 1111.
The explosion of the underground thing by Thankwall?
No, but that's a solid guess, but no.
Is it earlier or after that?
It's way earlier than that.
Is it the Doom of Kavzar?
No, you've gone too far there because no Skaven existed at that time. No, I'm talking about the Black Plague. If you'll recall, it's one that decimated the Old World, thought to have been spread out of Tilia by Tilian merchants carrying, quarantine is not even a word recognized at that time in the Warhammer world.
The letter Q hadn't even been invented.
So, yeah, they're all anti-vaxxers, even though they don't know what vaccines are. So it reached into the Darklands through the kind of trade caravans and absolutely devoured the occupants of the Darklands. And it took centuries for not just the goblinoid tribes, but the Chaos Dwarfs as well. It took them centuries to recover. But given their low birth rates, the deaths far outstripped their capacity to be able to repopulate. And so their numbers have never recovered from that event. Their population is still significantly lower than it was prior to the Black Plague. So in some light, the Skaven really did screw over a section of dwarves, their hated enemy within that. The second event is the Night of the Restless Dead. Now, can anyone remember what that included?
Yes, Nagash.
Yes, it was the rebirth of Nagash after his destruction at the hands of Sigmar himself. So we're in 1666 within the kind of AS, I suppose we'll call it.
1666. In our timeline, isn't the 1666 the Great Fire of London or something?
It is indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
wow.
that that's significant, but anyway, yeah.
What aren't they telling us about our own history?
Right. Right.
Night of the Restless Bread. Nailed it. Moving on.
Jesus.
Well, it started in a bakery.
Did it start in a bakery? Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
As far as I'm aware.
Nor did I know that the Great Fire was in 1666. So thank you both.
You're entirely welcome.
The knowledge that your brain retains, Kral, is just a constant amazement to me.
It's random. I know it's random.
It's so
fucking
random. Yeah. It's rando.
I love how for the past 5 years, Darren has been like pouring out his, knowledge, which he's like garnered over a lifetime. And Ben's like, "Oh, thanks for the knowledge, Kral." Darren, you are seen, my brother. You are seen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, my gratitude for Dar's knowledge just goes without saying, Kral. I don't need to say it. I turn up here every week. That's gratitude enough.
That's going to be on my business card. Darren Barber, gratitude implied.
Wait a minute, Darren, shut up. What was that, Kral?
1666, you say?
So, across the whole Warhammer world, in one night, the dead rose from their graves or resting places or piles. I don't know.
Heaps.
And before dawn the next day, the horde of the dead of the world had decimated the world of the living, effectively, before crumbling away again. For Tsar Nagran, this was a real problem, because they have a millennia's worth of dead slaves in piles all around the city and all around the plains that surround the city.
Uh-oh.
And they all got up at once. And,
Oh, wow.
and wave after wave of their own dead slaves attacked Tsar Nagran and the various settlements in and around the Darklands. The Chaos Dwarfs were very nearly overwhelmed. So think if you've got the Game of Thrones, that where the dead armies attacked Winterfell in the final well written and incredibly well acted season.
That's the definition of karma, isn't it? Like all your like generations of slaves come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, it was so bad. I mean, it was such a close run thing that the living dwarves within the city were driven into the upper tiers of the great kind of black step pyramid at Tsar Nagran. So they had lost the city almost completely, and it was only on the kind of steps of their step pyramid, their ziggurat to Hashut, that they were able to turn it round. And, well, I say turn it round. It was effectively the sorcerer priests were able to use their kind of fire-based magic, and then dawn arrived. So they lost their city in a single night with just the sheer volume of the dead, the slaves.
Were lessons learned?
In the aftermath,
should we put our dead slaves over there somewhere rather than all around us?
Yeah, it's like when you get that far into building a city in Sim City, and you realize that you've put the rubbish tip too close to this.
You put your slave pens in the downtown area. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You're like, fuck, I should have put them on the outskirts.
New game.
We expanded too fast. We expanded too. We went round the rubbish dump.
Yeah.
Pushed it out the way.
Why is the rubbish dump the center of my kingdom? This is
why is my CBD, my central business district, is a trash dump. Yeah.
We pause our presentation for a message from the Church of Sigmar.
Right, you wee shites. This f***ing nonsense again. I thought we had this sorted out 2 years ago. No, Voltma. Remember what Sister Broomhill said. Calm thoughts. Relaxing streams and meadows. Covered in f***ing hobgoblins and punching Chaos Dwarfs. This storm of chaos never happened. Why are we so obsessed with the end of the world? Did you all get dropped on your f***ing heads by your donkey molesting parents? Do you think I like getting angry? This isn't who I am. I wanted to be an accountant. Nice clean job, lots of detailed number work. Right, this is your final warning. Cut this out now or it's the flagellants for you wolf-looking goblin g***lers. Sister Brunhild, sign us off. I'm away for a lie down.
This has been a pronouncement from Volkmar the Grim. We return now to our regularly scheduled program.
In the aftermath of the Night of the Restless Dead, new policies were enforced by the leadership of the Chaos Dwarfs. Slave bodies were now to be destroyed, either thrown into lava pits or the various huge pools of acid they have around the city as part of their kind of metallurgical process, or they're to be butchered and sent to the ogres as food, because rancid meat...
They're so progressive.
Yeah, rancid meat is really prized as a delicacy by the ogre kingdoms.
Like sauerstrumming.
Sauerstrumming, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Scandinavian ogres.
Yeah.
Those two events really shook the kind of core of the Chaos Dwarf culture and made them realize not only that their own numbers were thin and reducing generation on generation, but that the existence of slaves, dead and alive, was a real threat, a real problem. So they became, again, pragmatic in terms of their disposal of their slave bodies, but also more brutalized of the slaves that existed within their empire. Outside of these kind of problems, these ongoing social problems that they had, a new threat arose within 600-700 years of the Night of the Restless Dead. The River Ruin, which runs down the right-hand side of the Dorito that is the Darklands Dorito.
Was that the pinky?
As I'm looking at... Hang on. Which hand were you using?
My left.
Your left.
This is why another reason why the hand thing doesn't fucking work, guys.
Yeah. So it's the right-hand side of the Dorito, the Darklands Dorito. It began to run dry, and so it was no longer able to be used to cool the massive forges and engines that are used to create all their products. Scouting parties that they sent out vanished, and the sorcerer priests saw kind of dire omens within their own temples and around the city that something bad was coming. The river then ran blood red, a sign that Khorne had sent an army in their direction as it was butchering everything along the way and throwing it into the river.
I thought the army was just bleeding a lot.
Yeah, some sort of awful minestrone soup.
Yikes.
This happens during the Great Incursion of Chaos. So we're talking about the 2300s AS, of course. So as Prague fell, if you recall from our Chaos episodes, Prague was a city that was effectively pulled into the realm of Chaos and back out again as it was taken by the combined forces of the various Chaos armies. As that city fell, a vast Khornate host besieged Zarnagrand itself, and battles raged all across the plains of Zarduk, which is the area around the city, for 2 years solidly. The Chaos Dwarves from other settlements and mines and factories kind of made a beeline to defend the ziggurat fortress of their capital, unleashing terrifying war machines against the kind of endless horde of Khorne's army. At last, the chaos kind of waste receded northward with the death of the Ever-Chosen from the Great Incursion. And in a final surge, the Chaos Dwarves were able to shatter the siege from both sides, and they annihilated their foes. The victory was ultimately theirs, but their numbers had been thinned so much that continued existence was now a day-to-day struggle. Like the maintenance and management of their slave empire was a real struggle for them. Hashtag no sympathies. During the Chaos Incursion, during the kind of Great War against Chaos, in the northern World's Edge Mountains, there was a dwarven hold called Karak Vlag, which was simply erased from existence. The hold was taken by the great two-headed dragon of Chaos. Can anyone remember his name? It was a high elf dragon.
Wing?
No, it was a high elf dragon who was possessed by a Lord of Change.
Yes.
No.
No, I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
But I do remember the tale.
Galrock. In the aftermath of the kind of the erasure of Karak Vlag, a huge number of mutated dwarves began appearing in and around that region, becoming known as the Tainted. Unlike the Chaos Dwarves that followed Hashut, these dwarves seem to have been corrupted by the great powers, the great four powers, as their hold, Karak Vlag, was pulled into the realm of chaos. And so ultimately these dwarves follow the chaos gods rather than follow Hashut themselves. Now, if you recall,
so these are real Chaos Dwarfs. They are Chaos Dwarfs.
Old school Chaos Dwarfs.
OG.
So this is a method, or this was a genius piece of writing by Alfred Nunes. You know, Alfred Nunes Jr., the chap who wrote the RPG supplement that we're kind of using as the
one that didn't get released.
The one that was planned for inclusion in, is it Blood and Steel or Stone and Steel? The Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition Dwarf supplement. So it was planned for that, but was not used in the end.
Right.
This is a way to unify the various Chaos Dwarf miniature lines. So the Tainted are the first iteration of Chaos Dwarves. These are the Chaos Dwarves that are actually just Chaos Warrior Dwarves, rather than the followers of Hashut. So this breed of Chaos Dwarf, the Tainted, this is where Guinness O'Timbrin lives. Or Timbrin Snakebeard, I suppose we should give him his proper name. I prefer Guinness O'Timbrin. I think it's funny.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. With the destruction of their hold, the kind of clan-like groupings became fractured, and their the Tainted kind of power base more resembles like beastmen herds. So it's a group of warriors and the kind of extended families led by a kind of cult of personality, I suppose, a strong magic user or a strong war chieftain. So not just looking like the beastmen, but very, very much like the Chaos Marauder tribes. Very similar structure.
Right, okay. Lots of bare chests.
Lots of bear chest. Well, literally, because they're mutants, lots of dwarves who have the chest of a bear. Yeah.
Very furry.
Their various kind of villages, towns, and mines lay hidden within the kind of northern mountain range. And from there, they launch raids on human settlements, taking food and livestock and captives. So again, the Marauder tribes, but they're dwarves. And I have another cheeky wee map. The first map there is the site of Karak Vlag. You can see that in the center. You see all around it is kind of a weird, dead, marshy area. And that's a kind of knock-on effect of the Dwarven hold being pulled into the realm of chaos. And the second map is...
I wonder where the orcs are.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be around there. The second map there is the influence of chaos and chaos beastmen. So that's the influence of the four chaos gods and their servants. And you'll note the Dark Lands completely empty.
Oh, yeah.
So the only other area that has no substantive presence of the four great gods of chaos is Lustria, because it's all, I was about to say staffed. It's populated by the lizard men.
That's
and
like the old world's kind of the old ones / Slanny type.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Is it their magic that's repelling them?
The lizard men, yes. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they can handle themselves against chaos.
Yeah, their entire kind of culture is based on keeping out the forces of chaos. Yeah,
and Ulthuan, by the looks of it, that looks like it's got relatively
Ulthuan
protected.
does have, if you'll remember, the Anuli Mountains that kind of circle around it. In the middle of it, in the center of that line of mountains all the way around, is a gate, effectively, one long gate into the realm of chaos, because of the magic washing up and over as it gets sucked off by the Great Vortex.
Right. Okay.
Top left, the land of chill. I'm all over that. Looks like the land of chill has got no chill, though, with the amount of chaos that's going around there.
Yeah. So just a note on the kind of nature of the society that the Tainted have in kind of juxtaposition to our friendly and not at all cancelable Chaos Dwarf friends. The Tainted Dwarves are kind of fundamentally different from all other dwarven societies. So even in, rather than that, I'll plow on. Age and wealth grant no status whatsoever, as opposed to all other types of dwarves where age and wealth are revered. And so in the Tainted culture, survival and physical dominance kind of dictates the hierarchy of leadership within the individual clans and the individual war bands, I suppose.
Might is right.
Yeah. So the weak and the aged are culled, either killed and devoured or abandoned as a kind of brutal necessity to the existence that they have. The clans, as I say, are smaller and more insular than the great kind of dwarven clans within the Karak Angkor. So at the top of these clans, the clan chiefs, they're either going to be the strongest, they're the strongest and most mutated of their kind. And a chief's reputation, and indeed the rank of chief, is a constant kind of Darwinian battle, the kind of survival of the fittest, or survival of those that can, survive, I suppose. That really was going nowhere.
Say survive again.
That was great. Yeah.
They survived more.
The continued survival, yeah.
I'm more survivier than you.
Yeah. Look at you down there, not surviving. And so it's all raids and battles and kind of destruction of rival clans. They hate everyone and everything. So individual clans are opposed to almost every other living being, including rival Tainted Dwarf clans. Beneath the chiefs, there's kind of three great areas that are focused on. Warriors, obviously the core of as an individual clan's strength. Smiths, who forge the weapons and armor. And really, it's the only true craft that the Tainted Dwarfs have. There are no kind of gemsmiths. There's no silversmiths or anything like that. It's purely blacksmiths. And they're not runesmiths. They don't use rune magic at all. Mr. Chris.
I was going to say, the only craft is weapon craft. What about all the devices and perambulating mecha chairs that they produce? Is that not classed as craft?
They do have war machines, and we'll get onto that shortly, but they don't have the technical know-how of the Chaos Dwarves. So these are the Tainted Dwarves, separate. Mr. Chris.
Ah, right, the Tainted Dwarves that worship Chaos proper.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So these are servants of the Chaos gods.
I was just going to say, it's a bit confusing. Chaos Dwarves, they do worship Chaos, but it's Chaos not as we know it. It's Hashut Chaos, isn't it?
It's Hashut.
You think Chaos Dwarves? Yeah. They're going to no. The dwarves that
their own brand.
Worship Chaos proper are called Tainted Dwarves. Okay,
Tainted Dwarves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The kind of third class of Tainted Dwarf are brewers, but they're incredibly rare and very well respected because, if you've got snakes for arms, you're going to want to drink. Relatively straightforward.
If you've got straws for arms.
If you've got straws for arms, you suck things directly into your torso.
That's it.
They kind of have this bittersweet sort of position within Tainted structure, as they are kind of a faint echo of the ancestral traditions of dwarves proper, of the Karak Angkor dwarves. There are no artisans, miners, or builders beyond what is necessary for survival. So there will be dwarves there that can construct a mean fortress or watchtower. But every effort really is in service of chaos and its war against order. As we've said there, they worship chaos in many forms, hashtag not Hashut. Most follow chaos undivided, fighting for or against any specific power as opportunity dictates. They wholeheartedly dedicate, well, those who worship a single god seem to be limited to Khorn, Nurgle, or Tzeentch, often ending up in the kind of larger chaos war bands led by chaos champions of those specific gods, or their whole clan is dedicated to that individual god. There are no records of a tainted dwarf ever following Slaanesh, possibly due to the dwarves' kind of disdain for excess and decadence, or some kind of psychic hangover from the enmity between dwarves and elves, given that Slaanesh...
Or Slaanesh was just like, actually, do you know what? I don't want to see that. Keep those guys. It's too much.
It's too much. As I say, they do have a lot of settlements in and around the northern World's Edge Mountains, maintaining the trade and alliance networks within the kind of true forces of chaos. So we're talking about beastmen, chaos warriors, minotaur tribes, and human mutants, or hashtag just mutants. And they themselves do provide weapons and armor and war machines, again, as we mentioned, in exchange for food and captives and kind of scavenged metals, because they're not really miners as such. They are growing both in number and influence, although there's no records of how they reproduce. Just going to let that sink in. We don't know.
Cell division.
They might sneeze and suddenly there's another dwarf. Yeah.
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 Do they abduct other dwarves and then mutate?
Easy, Captain Fimir. Easy.
I don't agree with it. I'm just saying it's a strategy that works for increasing your numbers.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
The only kind of evidence of this is their range. The range of their influence is beginning to expand south and then west into Kislev and Troll Country and the northern provinces of the Empire. So these are the original Chaos Dwarf miniatures. So these, it's a piece of art there that we've seen before. So these are Chaos Dwarves or Tainted Dwarves as Chaos Warriors. They're Chaos Warrior Dwarves is really what the Tainted are. And I think it's a great way of including an existing range or an existing concept of evil dwarfs back into the lore.
Yeah.
The fellow in the bottom right doesn't know how to wield that mace, does he?
It's definitely his first time mace.
Also, Ben, how many dwarves are in that picture?
8.
I see 9.
Oh, where's the 9th?
There's 9 heads. One of them has 2 heads.
3, 4. You got me.
That's
the guy.
I'm going to give you that.
The grey.
Yeah, the grey one has 2 heads.
Siamese dwarf in the middle. Is that 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, just constantly arguing with themselves.
It's 2 heads. No, that's a cover art from a miniature box set, Chaos Dwarf Renegades. One of the first kind of Chaos Dwarf box sets that came out. And that had 8 miniatures. So I was confused as to how you got 9 until I recalled one of them has 2 heads. With the Tainted Dwarves, that's where we get the boar centaurs are back into the story. That's where the war machines like the Tenderizer and the Whirlwind and the Mortar and the Bazooka and the Juggernaut, remember the big siege tower that's pushed by a boar centaur? They're back in the lore, and it's those Tainted Dwarves that kind of encompass that original concept of evil dwarves within the lore. I just thought that was really clever way of kind of combining the kind of story or the design aesthetics of the Chaos Dwarves. Yes, so Tainted Dwarves, Carrick Vlag was the epicenter of their culture. That's gone, or rather, it's in the realm of chaos and kind of bamps back in and out every now and then. And we have effectively miniature chaos marauder tribes, is how you think of the Tainted Dwarves within the World's Edge Mountains, the northern World's Edge Mountains. We bring ourselves now to the dreadful chaos invasion that never happened, the Storm of Chaos. Once again, the sorcerer priests have read really kind of dark omens and portents and a massive unrest of the steppe tribes, of humans rather, and they sense real kind of ill fortune ahead. They felt the winds of chaos strengthening, which heralded the migration, the mass invasion southward of the chaos wastes again. So this is not just the armies coming down, this is the actual stuff of chaos pushing forward as the storm of chaos took hold. Archaon, during this event, sent emissaries to the Chaos Dwarfs proper. We're now no longer talking about the Tainted, offering hundreds and thousands of slaves and promises of more in exchange for Chaos Dwarf war machines and crews for his campaign against the Empire. So really we're talking about hell cannons here. Do you remember? It's the huge cannon that fires souls at people.
Yeah.
Who was it who was asking for these from Chaos Dwarfs?
Archaon, during the Storm of Chaos.
Okay. How would Khorne have felt about Archaon doing that, given that Khorne...
Archaon's the Ever-Chosen. He pretty much does whatever he wants.
It's a blank check. It's a blank
check.
It
is a blank check, yeah. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I believe, as the young people say, let them cook.
Yeah.
Never heard that in my life.
That's because you're not a young person, Krell.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
The Chaos Dwarf culture still kind of... We're talking about 250-ish years from the Great Incursion, from when a Khornate army decimated their culture, seeking to avoid a repeat of that, avoid the destruction, agreed to the pact, sacrificing some of their own as kind of crews. Well, really not you can't really use the word sacrificing with the Chaos Dwarves. They lost some of their populace as crews to the forces of Archaon for the war machines, really in the hope that Archaon would restrain the armies of Khorne from strolling down and striking back at Tsar Nagrand. But as we say...
Just hoping for that to happen.
So as we say, with the Storm of Chaos, if it happened, then that's what the Chaos Dwarfs did.
Right, yeah. It's the best they could hope for. Just like, at least we might have a bit of leverage if we do something for him.
Yeah,
but if he's going to do it, he's going to fucking do it.
Yeah. Khorne be corning.
Yeah, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
So we now arrive at our kind of present day within Warhammer. So what do the Dwarfs look like? Well, really, they are a somewhat declining and enduring power within the Warhammer world. They remain a kind of diminished and dying race, still suffering from the loss of population from the Black Plague, followed then by the Night of the Restless Dead, followed then by the Great Incursion, less than 250 years ago. Their birth rates are extremely low, and their numbers, generation on generation, are just ebbing away. Despite all that, however, the sorcerer priests wield immense magical and political power within the Darklands, a land that they, continue to dominate. They're warriors, artillery, and now they're kind of infernal war machines, thanks to the rise of demon smiths, which we'll talk about next episode. They're able to maintain their kind of supremacy within the Darkland through both fear and iron discipline. Scholars speculate, however, some imperial scholars speculate that without kind of direct divine intervention by Hashut or by another chaos god, that the Chaos Dwarfs themselves will become extinct within a few centuries, both as a meaningful power, but also as a race in general. They will just disappear from the world stage. Mr. Ben.
Were they aware that that was the case? And if so, given their kind of level of ingenuity and engineering and a little bit of kind of magic, were they trying to do anything to, I don't know, like create new versions of themselves that were going to last, or I don't know?
Get fucking.
Yeah.
Get fucking, guys.
There's only so much you can do with lava and a hammer.
Easy.
That's what I've always said, yes. It's limited, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hammering lava.
Well, it's a great question, because we'll touch on that to some extent next episode with demon smiths. Demon smiths are in the process of creating autonomous war machines. So these are war machines that are possessed by demons.
Cool.
And have demons forced into them, probably sideways. And thus, the need for it frees up Chaos Dwarfs, if you see what I mean. So you're not sending so much of your race out into battle because you've got these autonomous war machines.
Okay.
However, we're not there yet.
Chaos Dwarfs were like, they took our jobs. These fucking demon
come over
machines.
Here. They perambulate over here. Take our women. Take our jobs.
Coming into our reality, killing everyone, taking our jobs. Bastards.
Yeah.
The demand for slaves, however, even with the rise of the demon smiths, it remains completely insatiable, and it sustains both their economy, their wider economy within the Darklands, and their allies as well, obviously, because they need slaves to be able to operate all their foundries and forges, but also their kind of state religion. They still need to sacrifice things to Hashut, and it's really the kind of, it highlights the narcissistic nature of Hashut, that it, I suppose we should correctly say, won't lift a finger to help them because it's might makes right. If you're not strong enough, this is why I think pandas should just be allowed to go extinct. If you've no interest in saving yourself, why should I save you? Join us on the next episode of our Anti-Panda League.
EradicatePandas.com.org.
No, not even eradicate pandas. Ignore pandas. That's what it should be. Just ignore them. Yeah. La 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 la.
Just panda deniers. That's what we are. Yeah. They don't exist.
Stop pandering to pandas.
I still love that the news article that came out of China, an expose where some of the zoos didn't have pandas. They had just painted fluffy dogs black and white. It's just brilliant. Google the videos for it; they're hilarious.
That's fucking hilarious.
Still, the kind of the race memory, the genetic memory of the Black Orc rebellion still haunts the Chaos Dwarf race, and serves as a reminder that, you know, too many slaves can bring ruin as easily.
Too many
as
hench,
kind of
clever, super athletic,
stubborn,
agile, very smart slaves is bad. Got it.
Yeah.
I could have told you that.
So to kind of combat the ongoing shortage, the ongoing supply versus demand issues of slavery, the Chaos Dwarfs have begun expanding their raiding territory. So they now operate across the world's edge mountains into the kind of foothills and border regions of the Empire. They're raiding along the Silver Road and the Silk Road, the trade paths from or between Ind, Cathay, and the Old World. They use a series of spies, bought mercenaries, and agents to capture travelers and merchant caravans and settlers from various different cultures and drag them back into the furnaces of Zar Nagrand, where most will either die from exhaustion or be sacrificed to Hashut himself. They retain a full kind of mutually exploitative trade alliance with the Hobgoblins under the leadership of the Hobgoblin Khan. So effectively Genghis Khan, of the Hobgoblin tribes, who rules over the full kind of breadth of the steppe Hobgoblin hegemony or empire. The dwarves continue to provide superior weapons and armor from Zarnagrand compared to the other types of weapons and armor they supply to the other goblinoid tribes. So that the hobgoblins not only have the advantage of numbers, but also superior technology. The hobgoblins, in turn, provide slaves, human slaves from either Chaos tribes, steppe tribes, or the Empire, or the trading caravans. And the Chaos Dwarfs pay heavily for quality slaves, especially those from strong human, or indeed the occasional dwarf, as they fall into the hands of their raiding allies. This kind of close alliance with the hobgoblins has strained relations with the Greenskins, the Greenskin tribes, who are in and around the kind of western side of the Darklands. Because of the increased trade with the hobgoblins, there's reduced trade and reduced quality in the items being traded with the orc and goblin tribes in and around the World's Edge Mountains. Resentment begins to grow within the Greenskin tribes themselves. And indeed, it was only the collapse of Grimgor Ironhide's horde within the Empire as part of the Storm of Chaos that prevented a full retaliation against, a Wa going the other way and devastating
a reverse
the Darklands. Yeah, a reverse Wa,
yeah. Ua? I'm not sure how you say that backwards.
Yeah. This has led many of the leaders within the Darklands to worry that a conflict between the Greenskin tribes of the West and Zarnagrand itself may be, in fact, inevitable, and there'll be a real struggle to survive such an invasion, such a Wa. With the kind of in the aftermath of the Storm of Chaos, the kind of primary slave hunting grounds in and around Kislev and the Northern Empire that the Chaos Dwarfs would normally farm were completely ravaged by the forces of Chaos, and indeed the expansion of the Chaos Wastes before it retracted back. And the collapse of that kind of source of slave traffic has threatened the foundations of kind of Chaos Dwarf industry, and indeed a knock-on effect to their worship. And so tensions have risen between the various different sorcerer priests in an effort to try and maintain production of their own kind of areas of expertise, their own areas of influence, and to appease the ever hungry, ever brutal god Hashut. The only other thing really that should be mentioned at this point is that the Ogre Kingdoms, who were long-time allies of the Chaos Dwarves, have become a more volatile kind of factor on their eastern border. The Ogres still demand annual tribute of weapons, armor, and meat in exchange for leaving the Chaos Dwarves alone. But with fewer slaves available year on year, the Chaos Dwarfs can really no longer meet that kind of need. And many fear that the ogres will, in fact, now turn on their Chaos Dwarf allies. And in their worst nightmares, they dream that they themselves will serve as a more suitable meal should starvation hit the ogre kingdoms themselves.
More like an appetizer.
So here ends the kind of potted history of the Chaos Dwarves. Yeah.
They're more like an appetizer, though, right? I mean, the ogres are not going to be particularly satisfied.
Well, they're not an entree. They're a lunch menu item.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're a bar snack.
Yeah.
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 Small plate.
Yeah. So we've gotten effectively 3 episodes out of
Shut up, Darren.
RPG
We're saying stuff.
Shut up, Darren.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
We're saying funny plate names.
Sorry, lads.
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, we're done now. That's fine. That was.
I was going to say we managed to get 3 episodes out of unpublished role-playing game material. Very well written and quite thoughtful and ingenuous.
All right, get over yourself.
And ingenious.
Yeah, I was talking about the guy, not me.
Yeah, Kral, it's up to us to congratulate Dar, and it's up to Dar to congratulate this guy.
Alfred Nunes. Yeah.
Dar, well done.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I thought I did really well.
You did great, Kral. You always do great. Kral be Kralin.
You're our special little guy, Kral.
Yeah. No, it was good. I've really enjoyed that. So hold on, what's left to cover, or is there anything left? Is this the?
Well, we're going to look at the kind of broader Chaos Dwarf society. We'll look at hobgoblins. We might touch on some of the characters, the named characters within the Chaos Dwarf role or empire, and then we'll look at the forces that the Chaos Dwarves can put on the tabletop.
Nice. And you said something about looking at the magic-y guys, the sorcerers,
that'll be included as part of the kind of society breakdown. Yeah.
Cool.
I have some questions about the Tainted Dwarves as well. It's interesting hearing about dwarves that worship chaos proper, but I'll save that for Chunks O'Dar.
So just with the history we've gone through, what's your favorite part? What's your least favorite part? Or both?
Which question are we answering? The favorite or the least favorite? Okay, let's answer both.
Simultaneously.
I like Hashut. I think he's a god I can really dig. I don't know why. I'm just attracted to Hashut.
It's because he's a bully, Kral.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
You aspire.
Yeah, I like the kind of double-edged sword of the fact that they can use magic, because rune magic frustrates me. How to make one rune, you've got to basically circumnavigate the earth and do impossible things.
A very specific thing.
For one rune.
They can do that, but
as you hammer the winds of magic into shape.
Yeah, and you have to deny the fact that you clearly used magic in order to make that rune, so that you can continue to say that you don't use magic. Like,
denial. Just use fucking magic.
So this magic rune,
if they use magic, they'll turn to stone. That's the problem.
Is that
That's
true?
The price they pay.
Is that true?
For Chaos Dwarves, yes, not for runesmiths.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it's only the sorcerers that petrify, as Kral put. Is that right?
That's it.
Right.
Yeah. That's the price they pay. So, does that happen to Tainted Dwarves as well, who can also see and utilize the winds of magic? Do they get petrified?
No, it's the double-edged. It's to use your phrase. It's the double-edged sword of having Hashut as your patron god.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's a bit rubbish. I like the steampunkiness of it. I like the kind of war machine and kind of heavy industry. The dark industry is very cool. Very cool.
Slavery. He loves the slavery, Darren.
I love the slavery. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I didn't want to say it out loud, but how else are you going to make all of this cool stuff, man? There's
if
only
the big hat
limited
fits,
number of them.
Wear it. You know
Exactly.
Yeah, like what are you going to do? Not dominate an entire culture and or race.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to dominate themselves, are they?
Darren? What's your view on the Chaos Dwarves? They've got kind of they've got a real loyal fan base, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Do you rate them?
Yeah. I think over the
past, be careful what he says.
It's very much a Bretonian thing for me. I wasn't all that keen on the Mesopotamian style dwarf. I really like the original Chaos Dwarfs, the kind of Chaos Warrior Chaos Dwarfs. And I actually thought the hats were shit. But they've grown on me, surprisingly.
Yeah, that's what they do. Those
like Bretonia.
Yeah, like Bretonia.
It's not so much that the hats grow on you, it's just that proportionally over time they look bigger because your spine compresses and you slowly get smaller as the hat still stays the same size.
Maybe that's what it is. There are no Chaos Dwarfs, it's just humans with big hats.
Yeah, and evolution.
The past two factions, Bretonia and Chaos Dwarfs, that we've covered, Darren doesn't necessarily hate them, but hasn't been the biggest fan. But I think it's one of those things like you couldn't, despite you not being fans or perhaps not even liking certain factions, you couldn't have Warhammer without them.
No, you couldn't. And I think what I like about the Chaos Dwarfs is that there's an internal consistency. Do you know what I mean? They are...
There's an consistent inconsistency.
Yeah, they were born cunts, they've remained cunts. You're going to take your hat off to that kind of level of stubbornness. Yep. Yeah.
I can relate. Yeah. Well. Right. Well, that's all that then. We wrap up.
Woo-hoo. Bye then, Ben.
What?
Bye then, Ben.
Oh, right. Okay. Bye, Kral. All right, that's all from us. Thank you so much for listening. If you want more Old World content, just hit the Patreon link in the description and sign up today to listen to our bonus show, Chunks of Dar. Details and imagery for the topics we've discussed in this show can be found on our website at layingdownthelore.com, where we also have all our previous episodes, release schedules, and merchandise. And you can also join our Discord for free. Just hit the link in the description and come and tell us what you think of the chiropractic effects of large Chaos Dwarf hats. We'll be back again soon, displaying just how little Kral and I know, and until then, goodbye. Goodbye, Kral.
Ben, you did the wrong outro for the episode, mate.
Shut up, Kral.
Bye, everybody.
Toodaloo, everyone.